Hi, this is Brenda from Alberta Quilter, and welcome to our special segment of On the Couch in Brenda's quilting studio.
I know I say too much, wish that I could somehow keep my mouth shut, but you and I, fair enough, love and war, why don't we just break up? This is who we are, we're just pieces of a broken heart, a million tries, no goodbye. Whoa, yeah.
So today we have my very bestest friend Kim, my neighbor, partner in crime, and we are here on my couch in the quilting studio, and well, we do actually quite a bit of visiting on this couch, as well as the occasional nap, but shh, don't tell anybody, okay? And today Kim and I are just going to talk about our passion for quilting, why we quilt, what are the reasons behind quilting in the first place. So Kim, how did you get started in the whole quilting business?
Oh, it was my neighbor who suddenly got me into it. But it was awesome. I really enjoy sewing, so to have that color and that movement and the very bestest friend alongside you is awesome.
And what kind of quilts do you gravitate towards the most?
Personally, I think I gravitate more towards the smaller quilts, probably the baby quilts and the twin quilts.
Mm-hmm.
Just because then I can feel like I've accomplished something. The larger quilts do tend to take a little bit more time. But yes, I've done quite a few of those too.
And when you decide you're going to make a quilt, what do you think about when you're actually going to make a quilt for somebody?
You usually think about the person. You think about colors that they might appreciate. You can think about a theme. You can think about the movement of the color, where you want your eye to go to. If you want to start up in one corner with darker colors and move your way down to lighter colors, movement can play a big part in what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you are looking at making a quilt, is price ever a factor to you?
Price is always a factor.
Mm-hmm.
We wish it was not so, but it just tends to be that way. So yeah, you can look in bargain stores. You can buy the odd piece that you feel is a little pricey but is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And then find coordinating fabrics that may go around that. I've quilted with things that are not cotton.
Well, I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
Are you just a purist and you only do cotton, or are you a little bit more adventurous?
I started off being a very purist, where you just want to do cottons. We've done many quilts that are even upholstery fabric.
That's right. This particular one is actually upholstery fabric too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and you can also do stuff that is from the thrift store. I've done old fabrics. I did, for one lady, I had done her mom and dad's fabrics. We had cut up shirts and pants and had done up a memorial quilt.
Yeah.
So and that was, a very emotional thing. So quilting can be quite emotional. It all depends on why you're doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's so many aspects of doing emotional quilts. I did one for a family not too long ago, actually. Their son had passed away suddenly, and we cut up all of their his little clothes from his. He was only 5, so there was like a lot of baby stuff and everything, and put like his favorite saying, turkey lurkey and stuff like that, And the family absolutely loved it because it was something that was treasure to them.
Yeah.
Every time they saw it, oh, I remember when he wore that, and I remember when he did that, and so it was definitely a very emotional thing. Yeah. So when you are doing something emotional like this for somebody, how does it affect you as the quilter?
It's an emotional journey for you as well, because you're constantly thinking of the person that you're doing it for, and and you're even reevaluating your own life.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. No.
and the ones that you love. So
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So just moving on from that, I feel all emotional now. It's hard to move on.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're gonna go and somebody comes to me and says, I have an old wedding dress, for instance, and I would love to have, I'd love to turn it into a quilt. Would you think that would be a good fabric or something like that to use?
Oh, totally. I've seen that done,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen silks used and taffeta and suede. I've
Oh
seen
yes,
suede
suede as
being
well.
used.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you don't have to be the traditional
Yeah.
in your choices. I mean, use whatever.
And I
Have
also
fun.
found, yeah, exactly. And I also found too that sometimes people like different textures on their quilts.
Mhm.
You know, not everybody likes just a flat, plain quilt. You know, some people like, and especially for babies, they love that satin, you know, the edge of a quilt being satin. They like to suck on it and touch it and whatever. And so I found that having those kinds of fabrics just makes it an interesting dimension too.
Yes.
And corduroy is great because it's got the lines in it, and you can feel the roughness of it. And so what would you say to somebody out there that's new, that's never started before, and you know, they want to make their first quilt?
I'd say enjoy the journey, because it can be a lot of fun, overwhelming at times, but to realize that just take one bite at a time and just enjoy where you're going with it. Well, there's another thing that one should take into consideration is weight.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times when you're finishing off a quilt, if it's heavy or if it's light, I've done one up for a young fellow, and we did it out of blue jeans.
Oh,
And,
that would make it nice and heavy.
It was very heavy,
Yeah.
and he found it too heavy.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
he was not a person who enjoyed the weight.
Okay.
So that could be a consideration if you
Mhm.
find that, you know, you are looking for something lighter.
Yeah.
If you live in a hot climate, you may not want
You may not want to use batting or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
just the two layers.
2 layers. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching today's tip. If you enjoyed it, please like and share this video with all of your quilting friends. All the tools that we have mentioned in this tips video will be in the information below. Thank you very much.